All right, it is 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, 10 Mountain. We're going to kick off our webinar this morning. So thank you so much from all of us here at Red Team. We want to wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day today to join us for our 2024 Red Team Wrap-Up. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of our key software enhancements and success stories from this past year, just kind of to reflect on some of the great features that we have been able to release for you guys this year in all of our product lines. So as we go through today, if there's something new that's jumping out at you that, hey, I didn't know that Red Team released this, that's kind of our hope with this, is that we're drawing some attention to some of the really neat updates that we've been able to make along the year and draw them to your attention so that you can go in and begin utilizing them if you've not already begun to do so, and also to help share your success stories if you've been in and these have made a big impact in your day-to-day. We want to hear those success stories from you as well. So thank you for being here this morning. As you all primarily know, Red Team is here, Red Team Flex and Red Team Go and Field Lens. We were built by contractors for contractors, and so we're so very thankful that you guys have trusted us with your business and helping us come alongside you 24/7 to help you and your projects be run as efficiently as possible. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Here's a little bit of the agenda that we're going to talk through. Red Team, we're going to go through introductions. We're going to talk about 2024 by the numbers and some of our key enhancements that we've had along the way. We're going to have a little bit of time for you guys to share your success stories with us, talk about a look ahead and what's coming, and then how you can get involved in 2025 with some of the initiatives that we've got springing up. This morning, presenting is Craig Tate. He is our Chief Executive Officer, came to join us mid-year this year. So thank you, Craig, for being here. He has a vast background in SaaS, and we're so excited that he has joined our team to lead us into the future. We're doing and working on a lot of really great things, and it's been such a pleasure to get to work with him over the past 6 months, and we're excited to hear a little bit more from Craig today. My name is Traci VanDalsem. I'm the Vice President of Red Team Go. I have been around the block in construction and here at Red Team for about 13 years, 25 years in the industry all in all. So I'll be talking with us a little bit and reflecting on some of the updates for Red Team Go today. And then we're also joined by Jennifer Leacock, who is our product owner for the Red Team Flex software. And she's going to be sharing a little bit with us about updates for Red Team Flex and about what's to come. So we will be presenting with you today. And I'm going to turn it over to Craig, and he's going to share a few insights on 2024 by the numbers.
Thanks, Traci. Thanks for that introduction, too. And I would like to just echo Traci's welcome and wishing everyone a happy holiday season. Excited to have you guys join us today. As Traci mentioned, I've been here since about mid-year. I've known Red Team for quite a few years, having been involved in the construction technology business and admiring the company from afar previously. And when the opportunity to join the team came up, I certainly wanted to jump on that. And it's been a whirlwind 6 months for me personally. And I think it's fair to say it's been a whirlwind 6 months plus for the company as a whole. And maybe the best way to describe 2024 as we reflect back on it is it's been a transformative year in many ways. And we'll talk about that in a little more detail here this morning and kind of take you through some examples of that and some of the numbers behind that. Just a few of those numbers to select. We've, during the course of this year, and the year's not over yet, so we're still counting. We're still signing up new customers between now and the end of the year. That's a plug. If you happen to be a prospect, please let us know. We were happy to work with you between now and the end of the year, and I know we're busy on that front. But we've signed up 103 new customers so far this year. Our company-wide sort of North Star metric, if you will, and when I think of a North Star metric, it's what best measures the value that we deliver to our customers. And for us, that's active project value that's managed in our systems. And at this point in time, we are managing almost $10.5 billion worth of active projects inside inside our systems, whether it's Flex or Go, the combination, and that has steadily grown over the last few years, and it has steadily grown this year as well. Um, we have been busy, and one of the certainly recurring themes this morning will be around what we're doing on the product front and what we're doing with development. We've been busy this year. We've released 180 different new features and enhancements to the products, and you're going to see a few examples of those, courtesy of Jennifer and Traci here in a few minutes. A lot of what we do, a lot of what has been accomplished this year in those enhancements and improvements is sort of what I would call under the waterline things that aren't necessarily readily noticeable when you look at your screen when you're signed into a Red Team application. And those are examples of things that really improve the product's performance, um, improve its reliability and security. And those are important aspects for us. It all goes into the quality of the service that we deliver. And as a result of a lot of our efforts this year, we have reduced our support tickets coming in from the market by 41% since the beginning of the year. So I see that as a really good sign. And then last but certainly not least, Red Team is all about our people, and we've had a lot of transformation on the people front this year too, in addition to some examples of the executive leadership team, such as myself. The area in particular where we've really added a lot of new talent and fresh perspective is around product. And actually, 20 of the 24 people that we've hired this year are specifically in the product engineering area. So that's kind of gives you a bit of an indication of where we're making our investments. And along with those new people comes new processes, right? So I wanted to just take a minute to walk you through some things that are probably the biggest area of transformation and focus for the company this year and going forward is around, as I mentioned, our product design and engineering area and sort of the software factory, if you will. And a lot of new things, exciting things that are going on there under new leadership as well in this particular arena. And kind of if I net it all out, there's a lot going on, and this is a little bit of the software factory sausage making, if you will, but some of the things we're doing here around having one source of truth for all the input into what we should build and how we should build it, a consistent, repeatable process that we all use that drives consistent results, and the tooling that goes with that with things like GitHub and JPD, Jira for our source code, version control for sort of managing our artifacts and so forth, and reusable code. What that's led us to do is really have an iterative, rapid prototyping approach that's user-centered. And it's not like we didn't have a lot of that in place before, but we've really ratcheted that up and we've really emphasized it. And we've brought in, again, new people and processes to drive a whole new level of results around that. And the net result of that is increased speed and reliability of what comes out of the software factory. And you should in turn see that and get the benefits of that as a user of our solutions. One other stat, and I love numbers, but in the first half of 2024, we kind of measure story points, which is a term common in the software development industry when you're in an agile development mode, the things that you're coding to and the features that you are releasing. It starts with deciding what story points that you want to use to guide the engineers in their development effort. And from January through July of this year, we got 39 story points completed. And in August through December, since we kind of evolved into this new process, we've had 169 story points completed and counting. We're not done. We still have a little bit of the year left and we're still working on things. So to me, that's a real indicator of this is working. It's kind of a new way of thinking and evolving the way we've traditionally developed software. And we're all really excited about that and appreciate the opportunity to share that. So now let's talk a little bit about some of the specific fruits of all that effort. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer now, who's going to walk us through some of our key enhancements this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Craig. Okay, let me share here. All right. Well, let's just start by talking about this. So, I'm going to walk us through a little bit of the key Red Team Flex and Field Lens enhancements for 2024. Um, we've talked, Craig just talked a lot about, some of those themes. Now in 2024, a lot of our themes were around collaboration, right? So we really wanted to, give you guys tools that will help you, with collaboration in your projects, across your teams, and in your tools like Red Team, right? So, if that's syncing data or updating some of your workflows or improving how you manage bids, for example, all of those updates were designed around collaboration, right? So that's what I'm going to share today. We're going to talk about three of those screens: the collaborative bid forms, the field lens, drawing sync, and lien waivers. All right, let me start sharing. Let's start with the collaborative bid forms, right? So one of the enhancements that we did this year was in relation to the updated cost estimate. So, many of you who are already Flex users are familiar with this new cost estimate, though some of you may not be using it. And so, if you are, you basically got access to being able to do more dynamic bid packages, right? And within those bid packages, we then introduced the collaborative bid forms. So the collaborative bid forms are a powerful tool to help you manage quotes across different bidders. And I'm actually going to pick, sorry, a different bid package here as an example. But the idea is that I can build very, very detailed bid packages across different cost codes. And then I can start to invite my bidders, various bidders through here to go ahead and provide me with costs here. And I actually can, let's see, here's the new collaborative bid form, open one, and show you today what that looks like. So to a prospective bidder, we can actually go in and review all of those details that were written into those bid packages across the cost codes, right? With very detailed information that these bidders can now update in real time. And this is an example, as if I were a bidder opening this up, that I could in real time be updating these numbers, as needed, and these numbers are reflecting automatically back in Red Team as soon as I make those adjustments to my bid, as well as, including or excluding items. The whole idea, again, around collaboration is bringing those bidders in, and that I can now get a very detailed bid leveling across bidders. As you can see, as an example in here, across a specific bid package, I could start to select where I have coverage across bidders and then use that bid form to start negotiating with my other bidders that I need to, potentially bring bids down. We actually show all of this information to give you a true should cost comparison across your bids as you start selecting coverage and soliciting more of those numbers using these new collaborative bid forms. So it's a great enhancement if you're using bid packages now. If you're not and you need to kind of digitize your bidding process, this is a great way to start. So, a really great feature, one that we're really excited about from 2024 here. Okay, let me switch over. Let's talk about our second one for Flex, which is the syncing of drawings and projects between Flex and Field Lens. So switch over here. You should still be seeing my screen. So one of the other collaborative things that we wanted to do was across applications, right? So both Flex and Field Lens are applications in the Red Team family, and we wanted to start to sync information between these. So if you are a user today of Flex and Field Lens, and you may already be doing this. If maybe you are a Flex user today and you're interested in some of our collaborative field tools like Field Lens, then this is an enhancement you might be interested in particular. You could see as an example in this project in Flex, I have all of my plans and specs, all of these drawings that I have uploaded. And as you can see over here in this project, which is synced to Field Lens, that I have already started the process of sending many of those files over to Field Lens. Those files will sync as I actually start to load these in and scopes are authorized. So for example, when I get all of these files in and loaded in and I go ahead and I accept the contract for this project and move it to in progress, we would start to post all of those to Field Lens. So we're essentially building the inventory of all of the drawings that are now needed out in the field, right? So now all of my field lens users are able to now access all of those same drawings that I have in Flex. And of course, they can now use Field Lens to, move through all of the nice features that Field Lens has, like for example, taking those drawings and creating posts with them, pinning posts specifically on those drawings, and then using them however they need in Field Lens to collaborate with others in the field, whether that's for safety issues, RFIs, or just general posts, right? So another really, really good enhancement we had there. And again, if you are not today a Field Lens user, but maybe are a Flex one, you can certainly reach out to a CSM, learn a little bit more about how you could start to use some of those features. And if you are using both today, hopefully you already have started utilizing these features to automatically sync over those projects and those drawings between those two applications. Okay, last but certainly not least, I'm going to switch back over here to my previous screen and go to a different project. I want to talk a little bit about lien waivers. So the last thing is lien waivers. So lien waiver enhancements as well. Another 2024 update that is meant to be collaborative because we now have the ability to issue lien waivers based on templates that you can customize, right? It's Red Team Flex, very flexible in those templates. So you are able to create as many custom lien waiver templates as you need, conditional, unconditional waivers, waivers for different states, whatever it is you might need. You'll be able to build those out in our configuration, just like you can with other types of documents and contracts and so forth. But in this case, now what we've done is not only given you the ability to manage all those different templates and track who you have waivers from and all your various claimants on a project, but also through the invoice approval process. Let's go in here as an example to an invoice I have for my demolition subcontractor. And when I am in that process of approving this invoice for them, I can jump right down here to lien waivers. I now can see not only that claimant, right? My, of course, subcontractor who this invoice is for, but any sub tier claimants that I'm tracking under them. Maybe if I've received some notices, prelim notices, or NTOs from them, I could see those dates right here. But more importantly, from this screen, I can now request those waivers electronically, right? So, as an example, for my demolition subcontractor here could go ahead and generate that waiver. Again, it will be based on the template that I build and set up, and you can have as many of these templates as needed. But it will go ahead and build that waiver for me, allow me to send it electronically, have them sign it, and it will be returned automatically uploaded into Red Team. Let me just go back and show you, in fact, an example where I'm managing all my lien law documents here and all my claimants is where I can find all of my other executed releases and signed releases and so forth. So those PDFs will be automatically loaded back in once signed, but the whole process is now done through this streamlined approval process with vendor invoices. So a nice enhancement there. Again, something that if you're not using today, you want a little more information on, you can reach out to a CSM about. But a really, really great way to kind of streamline again those payments from vendors to get that process going in here and to be able to manage all of that through Red Team. Just one less place to have to go outside to do that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen. We got
Yep.
one question in over on the Flex to Field Lens integration. Annette is asking, do any of the notes made in Field Lens come back over into Flex?
So it would depend on what you mean by notes, but as an example, I'm guessing, meaning any notes that might get put on those drawings as markups, as an example, they do not currently sync back to Flex. Those still right now live only in Field Lens. We have some thoughts around enhancing some of those syncing of the other markups and so forth. They don't today. Right now, it's just going to be the files.
Thank you.
Great question, though.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your updates with us on the Flex product, Flex to Field Lens integration. We're looking forward to 2025 for sure. All right. We're going to talk a little bit now about some updates for the Red Team Go platform. We're going to talk through some updates to the bidding worksheet with being able to import from your external bid worksheet or estimate template, how to create your own owner contracts inside the platform. And we added the ability, if you do not have time cards connected, to be able to come in and lump sum add your labor costs into your job cost statement and be available also to feed into your owner billing. So we're going to take a look at those things, and then, as Craig mentioned earlier, some of the things that go below the waterline that we can't see, the other half or 3/4 of the iceberg, so to speak, is that we've done a lot of enhancements to our application's performance, reliability, and security this year. So those things aren't bright and shiny and right in front of you on a daily basis, but you should notice that some screens are now loading faster than they did before. We're able to navigate at a much quicker pace, and that's all because of the performance enhancements that we've been able to make throughout the year this year. And there's more to come on that heading into 2025 as well. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking through the bidding worksheet, owner contracts, and lump sum labor costs. All of these are very easy updates that we made to the system. So I'm open into a project right now in the bidding module. And if we come into the worksheet as we're putting together our proposals for our owner, and we're starting to collect in bids from our subcontractors and vendors, and you're starting to complete your estimate template outside of RedTeam Go, you can do all of that right here within the platform, but if you've got your magic Excel spreadsheet that you've used for 25 years and you prefer to use that and then want to import your cost, you now have a way to do that. So right up here at your toolbar where you are used to coming in to add and remove cost codes and set markups, you'll see this import button, and that means that you can click on the import and bring in an external estimate template. We do have the template that you need to use right here. That you can download, but if you've already got that template and you're using that with your magic Excel spreadsheet, you can click on your import option right here. And we've got a couple different options right here for your import, in that if you need to continually import as you're going through the bidding process and you're getting new numbers from additional subcontractors and you're changing things as you're preparing your final estimate, you can choose to overwrite all of the cost items, or you can preserve items that you have already selected the subcontractor that you want to use. You can say, I want to preserve the cost items where I've already made that selection. So you can choose here what you'd like to do. And then you can either drag and drop your file, or you can click and choose your file that you want to use to import. And then RedTeam Go is going to work its magic. It's going to pull up and see if there are any duplicate cost codes, if there are any issues with the cost codes that will cause them not to import, so that those can be corrected before the final import. So right here you can see I've got 2 cost codes that were a part of my import that I've got some issues with, and it's going to tell us right here in the error messages what is happening. So right here, I can see I do not have a quantity. So I need to add in a quantity so that it can pull in that $25,000 cost. Once I click down, it's going to resolve and it's going to move that in. And then I can see right over here that my cost code is not in the proper format. And so it's not going to allow me to pull in this cost code because it's not in the proper format. So this is the 16 division, and it needs to be a 2 digits dash 3 digits instead of 4 digits in order for the import to work. So this is not going to work until I go fix it in my Excel spreadsheet. So I'm just going to click on the trash can to delete that, and then click continue. And now my import is complete, and it's going to work its magic to take those costs from my Excel spreadsheet that I just imported and put those values into my bidding worksheet right here on our screen that's getting ready to load here. So it's a very quick process. Again, you'll need to download the template. We require that the first 5 cells that are in the template be the ones that you'll need to use. So you may have a little adjusting to do on your magic Excel spreadsheet, but as long as those first 5 columns match identically to the template that we provide for you, you'll have a nice import into your bidding worksheet right here. So that's the first enhancement that we made. The second enhancement that we made was when you have presented your proposal package to your owner and you're now ready to issue contracts, and you move a project into the pending status, we created a way for you guys to create your own custom owner contracts without having to call us here at Red Team and have us custom program them for you. So this is a feature that we released early last year, around March. We did a rolling release, so we didn't give it to everybody all at the same time. We gave it to about 25 clients at a time over the course of February and March and the beginning of April last year. So depending on when you received this, hopefully this has made a big impact for you. Some of the things that we have been asked a lot is, hey, can you custom program this owner contract? Or, hey, I got a new cost plus contract that I wanted to see if you guys can program for us. And so we were getting that request a lot. And so we created for you a way to come in and create your own owner contracts without having to contact us to custom program them and without you having to pay an additional fee, because we were charging you a custom programming fee to create these documents. So you don't have to do that anymore, because we've given you the ability to do that right here through commitments and owner contracts. We have in administration a way for you to come in and create your owner contracts. You've got an owner contract template that automatically comes whenever we build you a RedTeam Go site for your company. You've got an owner contract template that's already in the system. So it's just a matter of you taking that owner contract template and then customizing the language for that specific type of owner contract that you need. You don't have a limit to the type of owner or to the number of owner contracts that you add into your database or the type. So you could have a fixed fee with a guaranteed max. You could have just a lump sum contract. You could have a cost plus contract, time and materials, construction management, at risk or not at risk contract types that you can add to your list over here, and be able to custom create those. And you'll do that by coming into administration and clicking on your default settings for owner contracts, and that gives you your templates, and you can decide what contracts you want visible to all of your company employees, or if you want some of those contracts to be hidden. We know sometimes that you want to be able to have the ability to choose your contracts, but you may not want them to be visible all the time. So an administrator can come in and decide for the company as a whole which contracts to display and which contracts not to display. Okay, our third project or enhancement is our lump sum labor entry. So let me show that to you. You're going to find that underneath the accounting tab. When you click on accounting, under time cards, you'll see a new entry called bulk entry. And when you get into bulk entry, if you need to add a new labor cost, you're going to click add labor cost, and it's going to tell you what we're going to do. This update is going to impact the total cost committed on your job cost statement, and it's also going to add this value to your actuals column on your budget worksheet. So I'm going to choose our project here. And these are the labor cost codes that are built into that project. And so if I need to add lump sum cost to each of these, or maybe just one individual one, we're going to come in and I'm going to say I had $5,500 of supervision to add to that labor cost code. I had $4,000 worth of masonry, and maybe I only had $3,200 for rough carpentry this pay period. So once I click save, it's going to commit this cost and add it to the actuals column on my budget worksheet under commitments and budget for that specific project. And then it's also going to show over on my job cost statement as well. So we'll find that when we come into the project in two places. We're going to come into commitments and budget, and we'll see those. Here's my supervision cost code right here. We're going to see that now included in our actuals. It's going to be in the current because I've committed that cost. So it pulls both into the current column and to my actuals column for each of those labor cost codes. So here's my masonry labor. I've got $18,000 to spend. I have committed $6,000 of that 18. So the second report that this feeds into is the job cost statement. So I'm going to switch over here to my job cost statement. And right here on our supervision line, we're going to see right here, I have $9,000 committed. here's my total cost to date. And I can drill into my total cost to date, and I'll see right here that this all came from my total man hours that have been included through that bulk labor import. So those are 3 of the RedTeam Go features. We've had a lot of features. Craig mentioned that we've had 180 updates so far this year. So these are just, this is just touching the surface, the tippy top of the surface of the things that we've released so far this year. But these are all things for Flex and Go that should be pretty powerful to your day-to-day working inside the system and being able to now have the ability to do some things that you could not do before. So we're really excited about these enhancements, and we're going to turn it back over to Craig and keep going here. Let's talk about our 2025 outlook.
You bet. Thanks, Traci. So as we kind of turn our attention to the coming year, I think a few things we wanted to highlight. One would be certainly the continued expansion of the product team. That's an important aspect of what we're doing, and we know we've got while we've accomplished a fair amount, we've got a lot of work yet to do, and we're looking forward to that and bringing in some additional resources to assist in that effort. A lot of emphasis right now around the user experience. And user experience isn't just the UI, it's the overall experience, how you navigate through the system, what it takes to get the job done. And we've certainly received feedback that there's always more we can be doing there. And so we've got an effort underway right now to take the most commonly used areas of the both applications, Flex and go through an optimization exercise to really optimize how you navigate through those and the performance that you should expect coming out of that. One aspect of that is certainly around real-time collaboration. Jennifer mentioned that a bit. This is exciting new capabilities that are coming here very shortly. I would venture to say even within the next month or so. And that is around the ability to do true real-time collaboration when you're doing your estimating, both cost and pricing. And that's an effort that we're getting ready to release some new and exciting capabilities there. The unified login across applications, so that kind of gets back to the Flex and Field Lens as one example of that, where you log into Field Lens, and you also in turn be logged into to Flex as part of that, so you don't have to bounce back and forth between the applications. I think that should be a big improvement over just the overall day-to-day use of both systems. And again, we've mentioned several times here some of the things we're doing around performance, reliability, and security. We're going to continue that effort this coming year. And maybe last but not least, the first sort of example, real significant example of a new, not just feature, but a completely new module that we're introducing here in the early part of 2025 is around submittals. And it's an example how we're taking some of these new tools and techniques and the new look and feel that we've been talking about and putting it to good use in a new module. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jennifer, who's going to give us just a little sneak preview of what will be coming to a theater near you shortly.
Yes. Yeah, it's an exciting update. So we can go to the slide and take a look. We've got a quick design here that we're sharing with you guys. So still very conceptual, but wanted to give you a kind of a preview, and you can see for anybody who is familiar with submittals in any of our products that this is an entirely overhauled module, right? So this is just a quick look at what you can expect from submittals, but really further than that, what you can expect across the applications, right? As we move towards, building out these very nice enhanced modules, the idea is to apply this throughout the system. But submittals is one that we know has been top of mind for lots of folks. We've heard it before, so it became a priority item. And as you can see here, it's a completely different look to what you have now. It's also going to be introducing a lot of the features that have been highly requested for submittals, like the ball and court. You can kind of see in there as an example under your status, a little bit of detail on that. But ball and court and a lot more, again, continuing with that theme of collaboration, collaborative tools to be able to get your submittals through the workflow that you need to. So, yeah, as we are looking at 2025, these kinds of enhancements that are very design driven and improve that user experience are going to be key. And you can see it right there with submittals. But yeah, overall, our goal is to make the system more intuitive, but also be, delivering that consistency, reliability that Craig's been talking about. So we're really looking forward to it. This is definitely a good sneak preview um, that we hope you guys are as excited about as we are.
I think anytime we're talking about making enhancements that really impact somebody's day, and I don't know if you, as listeners to this webinar, play a role in submittals, but I'm sure if you do, you should be looking forward to this enhancement as well, because one of the things that we're hoping to do is create a better process with fewer clicks that's much easier for both you and your external parties to come in and utilize the submittals through our systems. So I know for me, as a former project manager, this was something that took a lot of my time, especially if we had big projects that had lots of submittals. And so being able to build this collaborative tool and build it in a way that is very helpful and useful for all parties is super duper exciting. So I'm exciting. I'm excited. So everybody should get excited about this one. This is like happy day, happy day. All right, well, we want to hear from you. So now is your time to participate with us in this webinar. We want to hear if you have used some of these features that we've highlighted today during this webinar. We would love for you to share your experience. So you'll see a poll that just popped up on your screen that is asking you, what was your favorite product feature from 2024 and how did it make you successful? How did it make your day better? How did it enhance your experience and help you to get things done faster with fewer clicks? So please feel free to share that. We'd love to capture your feedback. And then also, if you would be interested in sharing your success story, we do have a QR code that's up on your screen right now. We're working on a testimonial project and we would love to hear from you. If you would be comfortable sharing your success story with getting a video of you taken talking about it, or if you want to give us a written testimonial that we can use in some of our materials to share with other prospects that are looking for our Red Team solutions, we would love to hear from you. So please scan that QR code and let us know of your interest, and we'll reach out to you and we'll get you involved in our testimonial program. That's an initiative that I know is very dear to Craig and me as well, and we're going to be working on being able to use those, and we'll share them back with you as well so that you can use them on with your marketing materials. We do understand that by utilizing Red Team software, it makes you more efficient. This may be a really great qualification when you guys are winning work to tell your potential owners, how do you plan to manage this job, and using Red Team to manage your projects. So we do want to provide you with those resources that tell others how you guys manage your projects efficiently as well. So we'll be working in collaboration with you and sharing that with you as well. So please let us know of your interest there. And let's talk about a look ahead.
Yeah, so I guess by way of recapping and looking ahead, I think, again, we're really excited about both what we've accomplished this year, but it really, as much as anything, sets the stage for what's to come with all of the new talent, process, and new thinking inside Red Team that will continue to evolve and set us up for the future. Sometimes you have to take a step back and maybe take a little bit of a pause and slow down to go faster. And that's kind of what we've done, is really put a lot of this foundation in place. So our pace of innovation will, I'm confident you're going to see it really picking up. I think, particularly around the platform and its modernization, the user experience enhancements coming out in 25. Again, I think I mentioned we have access to working capital through our investors in Red Team that is at a level that we hadn't had for a number of years now. And we're putting that to good use. And we're putting it to good use, trying to deliver more value to you through the things that we do from a product and solution and service standpoint, including investments in customer success, in enhancing that around implementation, training, support, and account management, all in the spirit of providing you a better experience and a way to realize value for your Red Team investment sooner and in a larger degree. I think if I could probably sum it up in a lot of you may not be old enough to remember this, but I remember an old Oldsmobile, of all things, advertising campaign that said, "This was not your father's, no longer your father's Oldsmobile. And I think it's safe to say that this is not your father's red team going forward. And a lot of the things we're doing today, it's building on our rich history and what we've accomplished up to this point, but really ratcheting it up a whole nother level. And I hope you will see that, and I'm confident that you will get to enjoy some of the fruits of that here coming up in not just 2025, but on a go forward basis. But we don't do that by ourselves. We are a company that was, as we said right at the beginning, for contractors by contractors. And the roots of this company are in contractors who actually walk the talk and walk and talk and are in your shoes. And we need your help and we need your support on an ongoing basis, because all the best ideas come from those that are using our solutions on a day-to-day basis, and those who really understand what it takes to deliver on projects and deliver a successful, profitable construction company in today's world. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to Traci to just kind of wrap up and reinforce that we'd love your continued involvement in that process, and we'll give you some closing thoughts here on ways in which you could do that.
Yeah, well, and thank you for that too. And I just want to reiterate, as we talk to our clients, and I get to do a lot of traveling, one of the things that I love to do is meet with our clients and talk with you about how you're utilizing the software and how can you get more efficiency out of it. And so I do get to hear firsthand from you as I'm visiting with you and talking with you, whether that's in person or virtually. And we do take your feedback and we do something with it. It doesn't just go into thin air and we don't use the information that you're giving us. We have a really great suggestions process that we use to collect your feedback and make plans for how can we incorporate that into our software. And so we do love to hear from you. One of the ways that you can get involved in 2025 is by joining our user groups. We have a user group that has been opened up to the Southeast region and across the US as well. And we are looking to have these meetings about once a quarter where you can connect with industry peers, fellow Red Team users, and share your experiences with one another and how you're using the software tools to solve your everyday, day-to-day challenges that may come up. Maybe you've got a unique construction project and want to reach out and see if anybody has done a similar project and you've bumped into some kind of roadblock that you need help with. Who better to ask than another Red Team user? This user group is a space where you can do that, where you guys can come together, share tips and tricks, pose some questions to each other, get some answers in real time. And this is you guys having conversations with one another, and then you'll also have fellow Red Teamers here at Red Team that'll be chiming in, telling you about some upcoming feature releases, letting you know when the next user group meetings are and what the topics of discussion are going to be that will be a part of those. So look for those announcements when they're coming. We do send out announcements through a newsletter. We're posting in our social media about when the next user groups are. So look for those to be coming so that you can sign up and register for those when they happen throughout the course of 2025. And in addition to the user group and to those quarterly meetings, we do have two different places, depending on your social media of choice, that you can join a Red Team forum. We have a LinkedIn group and we also have a Facebook group that you can join depending on which of these is your favorite. Maybe you scroll through both. Go ahead and join both. We would love to do that. But we're going to have posting and conversations that are going on in these forum channels as well. So click on the QR codes that are here on screen to join those Facebook and LinkedIn groups. We're trying to get more users. We've got probably over 500 users that are part of these forums already. So you've got a great pool of Red Team users that are already included in the forums, and we would love to collect more. It gives you a broader depth to ask your questions and get some answers as well from other users. So tell your friends, tell your company employees to come join the forums and get involved in conversations with other Red Teamers and Red Team users. All right, we're going to open it up a little bit at this time for questions. If you want to open up your Zoom webinar toolbar, you'll notice that you have a Q&A button in your toolbar. So if you'd like to ask us a few questions, we'll hang around for a little while and answer any questions that you may have. And hang on a sec, we've got one here. Jennifer, this would probably be a great one. This is a flex question. But Erin is asking, is the bidding section going to be improved, primarily the section for selecting bidders?
Yeah, good question. So we are still making some improvements to bidding. Yes, there are going to be some, and in fact, specifically around contacts and things like that, you are going to be seeing some new updates to that screen where, for example, I showed today you were on the bid packages and you're managing all your bidders there. We're going to give you some more tools to manage a little bit more from that screen, right? Without having to leave the screen. Now, as far as it looking more like Go, it's not right now. There's not really a specific plan, let's say, to make it look exactly like Go. That's not in the cards right at this moment. But yes, there are some enhancements coming to the existing one in Flex. Now, for the second part of this question, Erin, I do want to help you with this. I think I'm going to need a little more context. If this is something you can either reach out to support about or after this webinar, I don't mind reaching out, but I think that's going to be something else better handled. Just I need to understand a little bit more what you're trying to do.
Another question, Jen, that to come along behind that one is for those bidding features, is that something that they have to have turned on?
It is, yes. So you will need to right now in Flex, if you are not already using that, that is something that has to be turned on. So it's something a CSM can help with. But in order to start using those features, yes, it's not immediately available.
Okay, so that is, we have the legacy estimating module for RedTeam Flex, and these are all new features that you have to opt into. So if you're not using the new features for Flex bidding, please reach out to your client success manager. If you're wanting to turn these on and play with them a little bit, try them out on a new project that you have going, we would love to do that. We would love to turn them on for you and get you the ability to utilize these new features. When they're turned on, any enhancement that we make, you'll automatically get to those modules when they're released. So please let us know if that's something that you're interested in, if that's not already available for you on your Flex site. Great questions. Thank you so much.
And if you do get a chance to do that, please provide us the feedback.
Yes.
Trying to incorporate, especially early adopters on some of these new features, their feedback, because this is an iterative process, right? And as we go forward, we will always be improving on what we have based on your feedback.
Yes, and we've dropped the link in your webinar chat for success stories. So that's a link. If you want to go ahead and click on that link in your webinar chat right now, that's going to open up a form for you. Just save that as a favorite. We want to collect feedback from you on our features throughout the course of the year. So save that as a favorite. And then anytime you feel like, hey, I tried this, it worked great, let me send them a message. So we'd love for you to use that link to send your feedback going forward. And we'll be putting that in the newsletter as well when you get that on a monthly basis. We typically send out our newsletters around the 4th or 5th of the month. We try to get a good couple of days into the month before our newsletters go out, but it'll be coming in those as well. But if you save this as a favorite, you'll have access to it all the time. And we would love to get your feedback on any of our new enhancements along the way. So feel free to utilize that. We've also dropped into your chat the links for the user group and for the LinkedIn and Facebook forum. So you have some easy links right there if you did not have an opportunity to scan those QR codes. Those are hyperlinks that are in your webinar chat as well. All right. Okay, another question that I see. Jennifer, this might be a good one for you. Are there any upcoming early adopter programs for new features where users can participate?
Oh, yes, of course. So we talked a little bit earlier about submittals. That's a big one. So you guys just saw that submittals, especially with it being an all new module, right? We would love to get feedback early on for those. We have a growing list already. If you're a big, heavy submittal user and that's something you're interested in, then yes, you can reach out to a CSM for that, and we'll get you directed to the correct person on our product side who will invite you to that program.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, I asked this question at one of our Red Team on the Road shows earlier this year about raise your hand if you don't know who your client success manager is. So if you do not know who your client success, we call them CSMs, but if you don't know who your client success manager is, please feel free to reach out to us. You could use your chat icon on your Red Team pages, you can contact support and we can put you in touch with who your CSM is. So happy to help you there as well to get you to the people that you need to speak to. Okay, we've got one more that has come in as well. What kind of ongoing training or support does Red Team offer for users looking to maximize their use of these enhancements? That's another really great question, and I'll take that one. User experience is really important to me if you know anything about me and my background. So I love to talk and brag on our client experience teams, both from the support, the chat feature. We have real human beings on the other end of your chat icons that are at the lower left-hand corner of your Flex and Go webinar web pages, and even through the mobile app. So if you have questions, we're always there to help you within chat. And that is typically the fastest way to get a response to a question that you have, especially if it's a how-to question or this seems to be stuck. How do I do XYZ? They can guide you, either give you the answer right there or guide you to the article with step-by-step instructions or the training video that talks through that. So that's by far the quickest way to get an answer to your question. You've also got your client success managers, and they're here to help you with some bigger questions. If they're typically reaching out to you on a fairly regular basis to check in, see how things are going, see if you guys have hit any roadblocks that you haven't made us aware of, and help you to overcome those roadblocks. Maybe it's a ticket that they need to submit for you, and make sure it gets followed that process all the way through to closing that so that you're unblocked. They're also who will be contacting you to talk about your contract renewals for Red Team Flex and Go. We are in renewable contracts. We call them evergreen, and so they auto renew every year. But if you have any questions on your contracts, they're also your go-to person for that. And then we also have our implementation specialists. They are our training team that talks through the new features. And so if we do need to help you to connect with an implementation specialist because your team may need some individualized training on something, you can connect with your client success manager and they can help to organize that for you as well. And then for things like these new enhancements that are coming, especially when they're large enhancements, we do try to have webinars that go into detail on the new features that are going to be coming out. So we're going to be notifying you through email, through newsletter, through APB, through walkie-talkie. We're trying to get the word out to you that, hey, we've got new features. We're trying to ring our bell real loud. And so as many avenues as we can get to you, we're going to try to reach out in that way, posting on social media. We really try to shake the tree in all areas so that you guys get word that these new features are coming. So I know that sometimes that's hard. We run at such a fast pace all the time. I barely can take time to read a full email. If it's not grabbing me in the first couple of sentences, I probably am going to miss it. And our inboxes are constantly full and we're always getting newsletters, and sometimes we don't have time to focus on those, but we are trying to let you know ahead of time that change is coming. And we're going to try to have webinars that go into a little bit more detail on how to utilize the new functionality that you're going to be receiving so that you guys can take advantage of it as quickly as possible. So those are just some of the ways that you're going to be able to learn about the enhancements that are coming up in 2025. So all great questions. Thank you so much for participating with us during our webinar today. I am, with that, going to close us out and wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from our team here at Red Team to yours. We hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and end of 2024, and we look forward to seeing you in 2025 and some of the upcoming webinars that we have, and we look forward to helping you and making your day better and brighter in 2025. Thank you so much for spending a portion of your day with us. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.